home.
Om. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smriti Purana Malayam Karunalayam Namame Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Sanjaya Uvacha Tan tatha krupaya vishtam Ashrupurna kulekshanam Vishidantamidam vakyam Uvacha madhusudanaha. That is the first verse in Gita Sara, a compilation of select verses from Bhagavad Gita by Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, called Gita Sara. A course is going on, 3 months course, and Gita Sara is in the syllabus for that course. I thought of welcoming the third Sunday Gita class students to the introduction of Gita Sara. I have kept it pending so that I can include all of you who visit us and bless us once in a fortnight. You are all welcome. And so, the introduction to Gita Sara is same as introduction to Gita. Of course, you don't need a very special introduction to Gita because you are in somewhere in the middle. 10th Adhyaya, 25th Shloka. That is where you are in. And so, what introduction? But then, 10th Adhyaya means the introduction was given long back, I suppose. And no harm in revisiting the introduction. So, Bhagavad Gita is a small text from Mahabharata. Mahabharata is very big and very heavy also. So, Parvata, Parvata is the mountain, and Parvataha Mahabharaha, a very heavy mountain is very heavy, nobody can lift it, it is very heavy. And that ta you take out and put after ra, Parvaha Mahabharataha. It should be Mahabharatam. Okay? So, Mahabharata is as heavy as a mountain. Probably that is the reason why the various volumes of the Mahabharata, in fact 18 of them, are called Parvas. And in one of those Parvas is Bhagavad Gita. I suppose it is Bhishma Parva. And Mahabharata is the source of many such wonderful philosophical treatises in addition to Bhagavad Gita. Like we were studying in an outreach course in Phoenix, Yaksha Prashna, that is from Mahabharata. While studying Mahabharata, many a times I was reminded myself, and I was reminding the students also, look at this verse. No surprise, this resembles the Gita verse very much. No surprise, these two fruits, Yaksha Prashna and Bhagavad Gita, these two fruits are of the same tree. Like that, there are many more fruits in Mahabharata. So, and Bhagavad Gita is the most important of all those fruits from Mahabharata. And one great Acharya in India, he observed that Bhagavad Gita is like a lighthouse light. They have a thing called lighthouse, a big pillar, a big structure, a tall structure, on the top of which there is a light. You see it on the sea coast to guide the ships to the harbor. And that is called Depastambha. And then the Acharya said, Gita in Mahabharata is like the lighthouse. Depastambhavat. It is standing there in between Mahabharata, roughly in the center of the Mahabharata. On one side, there is a lot of Mahabharata up to Bhishma Parva, and on the other side, the Bhishma Parva and then other Parvas. So Karna Parva, Shalya Parva, etc. Drona Parva, Karna Parva, Shalya Parva, all those Parvas. Stri Parva, Anushasanika Parva. So like that, all those Parvas will, Swargarohana Parva, all those are there on the other side. And Gita is like the lighthouse which throws light of wisdom or knowledge, if you wish, on this side as well as on that side. So Gita is, its position in Mahabharata is indeed compared with the lighthouse. So Gita is called appropriately the lighthouse of Mahabharata, which is one of the two greatest epics of all time of India. Okay. Then why Mahabharata is so voluminous, so big it is? Because the poet Vyasaha, that was the poet, that was indeed the title. Vyasaha is the title. His original name is Krishna. And his place of living is an island, in a river island. There are river islands, big river islands can be there. Like Brahmaputra, this is general knowledge information. Brahmaputra has the biggest river island in the whole world. So there are river islands and people live there. In Godavari also there are many river islands. And there is a small village called Island Polavaram. Polavaram is the name of the place and it's an island. Therefore it is called Island Polavaram. So in Godavari. Anyway, this gentleman called Krishna, he used to live on one of these river islands. That's why he is called Dvaipayanaha. Dvipa is an island, Ayana is the place where he lives. So Krishna Dvaipayanaha. He was a compiler. He compiled the Vedas and gave them some structure. And he is the author of the great epic. And that's why, because of his compiling technique and knowledge, you must be having a lot of knowledge to compile things and put them in an order. He has done that for the Vedic literature. And he divided the Vedas into 3 and then made it 4 and put them in a structure. He gave that structure to them. That's why he is called Vyasaha, one who compiles. The word Vyasaha is take things and spread them. That is Vyasa. So Vyasa is elaborator. compiler, but then elaborator. That is his character. In his poetry, elaboration comes out very strongly. Anything and everything he dilates and elaborates and presents before us. No surprise, his magnum opus Mahabharata is so big. Because by nature he is Vyasaha. Vyasaha, the elaborator. But he changes his character in the 180 degrees when he came to Gita. And therefore there is another sutram. There is sutras, they are sutras. The earlier sutra was Depastambhavat, that is one sutra. These are called Samata Sutrani, the aphorisms about Gita. Very beautiful aphorisms. They are composed by Vinoba Bhave, he was the author. And very beautiful sutras. They capture the vision of Gita in every chapter, in every section within the chapter, marvelously. And if you have those sutras before you, you have the entire vision of Gita. Many people did not pay attention to that. So they think Vinoba Bhave is a freedom fighter and all that. Freedom fighter, okay. But he is a great scholar of Gita. And Depastambhavat, that is the sutra. And another sutra is Vyasa Samaso Gitayam. When it comes to Gita, Vyasa became Samasa. You can name somebody Samasa. What is Samasa? Precis writers. You know, precis. It used to be a question in English language and literature. They give an essay of 3 paragraphs and asks you to write a precis about it in one small paragraph. This is called precis writing. And you get 20 marks if you do a good job. So that is an art. You read entire thing and without missing anything. Yeah, you have to capture the entire message coming out of that article, and you have to put it in one para, like an abstract. Precis writing is there in language studies. And the precis is precise is adjective and precis is the noun. And so Vyasa Vyasa became a precis writer in Bhagavad Gita, Samasa. Vyasa Samaso Gitayam. So what he would have told in thousands of verses, he condensed it into 700 odd verses in Gita. That is the speciality of Gita. Shankara introduces Gita as Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. That is how Shankara introduces. You see, take all the Vedas. All the Vedas means three Vedas. All the Vedas means, don't think that there are dozens and dozens. 3 Vedas. If you wish, you can add Atharvana Veda. You add. Whenever there is all the Veda, you add Atharvana Veda. If they don't say Sarva, all, if they don't say, stay with 3 Vedas. Sarvan Vedan Adhitya, make it 4. So all the 4 Vedas are taken. Their essence, Sara. What is the Sara of Veda? Vedantaha. Anta means Sara. Siddhantaha, Radhantaha, Vedantaha. These are the usages where the word Anta is not the end. Therefore, if you say Vedanta, the last chapter of a book, okay, you may get along with it. That is not the significance of the word. The significance of the word is it is the essence of Veda, not the last chapter. If it is last chapter, nothing special about it. But you prefer to read the first chapter before coming to the last chapter. And in some cases, it is not even the last chapter. If you come to Taittiriya Upanishad, it is not the last chapter. There is something bigger coming after the Taittiriya Upanishad. In fact, that something which follows Taittiriya Upanishad is bigger than those 3 chapters of Taittiriya Upanishad put together. What follows is bigger than these 3 put together. Therefore, it is not necessarily the last chapter. Okay? Therefore, it is the essence, like Tattvamasi in Chandogya. That is the essence of Vedanta. That is not the last chapter. There follows 2 more chapters. And in one of those chapters, there is Upasana also. Jnanam, 7th chapter is Jnanam. But 8th chapter, the first part is Upasana, Dahara Vidya. Therefore, last chapter idea is there, but more importantly, the essence of Veda. Samasta Vedartha. What is the message of the Veda? That is Vedartha. May distill it, Sara. Distill it. Samasta Vedartha Sara. Even Sara is a bit large, is a bit more voluminous. Therefore, having distilled it, you further make it, further get the essence out of it. A second distillation you do, double distillation. They do that. Sometimes they do double distillation. Do that, then you get Gita. Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. That is how Shankara presents it. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, this class is introduction class, okay? Your 10:25 will come later. So it will not go anywhere, it will be there. I only will teach 10:25. I promise you I will finish it before I go back. Okay? So in the Bhagavad Gita, there are no long discussions. There is nothing elaborate. It is put in a very succinct fashion. So the main reason is, what is the main reason? Why not elaborate? The main reason for this method adopted by that great poet Vyasa is whatever is stated in Gita is meant to be tested in life of every human being. That is why it is meant. It is meant for that. You have to test it. It is like we give a few pointers, steps 1, 2, 3, 4, right briefly, and give it to the operator in the manufacturing place, in the shop floor. And he gets those 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and he reads them and implements them in conducting the reaction. That is how it is done. We do not give major formulae, process, how it happened, where it happened. All those details are not given. They are given steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Like that they are given. The operator means who operates the reaction, the process, he reads them and implements them. Like in hospitals, they have protocol, something like that. The protocol is not a medicinal knowledge or any such thing. All medicine is not taught in the protocol. Protocol is just step after step you follow it. Sometimes even the nurse also has a role to implement that protocol. Doctor, nurses, etc., all of them implement that protocol, which is written very precisely. I suppose so. Okay? Gita is like a protocol of human existence. And whatever is said in Gita, you have to test in life, otherwise there is no value. You can become a Gita scholar, that is all right. There are plenty of Gita scholars in the world. You add one more number to that list. That doesn't help. And you can make a profession out of it also. As a Gita scholar, you can go around the country and even other countries and give big speeches of Gita, seminars on Gita, and make a lot of money and gain a lot of name and fame also, but remain a bag of bones. That is not what Gita is. Gita is you test. Like what? In Gita Sara itself, after the first verse of introduction is over, the testing manual begins. Idam shariram kaunteya. Already first verse. You can take the first verse and disappear from the scene and test that first verse for the coming 10 years. You will be a liberated soul. You need not come to any further Vedanta classes. I am saying in a way, you please come. That is all right. okay, in a way I am saying. So you have to test it. It is meant for that. Whatever Sri Krishna said in another 700 odd verses doesn't matter. Take this verse and test it. Or one verse or maybe two verses. That verse and immediately following verse. They are there in the Gita Sara. Now when Ramana Maharshi looked at Gita, he wanted to make a Gita Sara for the benefit of students. And his eyes fell on that verse, first verse of the 13th chapter. Idam Shariram. But then he cannot stop with the first verse because the second verse is closely connected with the first verse. They make one topic, the two verses together. Therefore he put those two verses. You can call it one long verse of 4 lines. That is what he puts at the very beginning. There must be something in it. Why Ramana? He came to the other 12 chapters later. First his eyes fell on that 13:1, 2. Because that is where the testing begins. The operational part of the wisdom, that is where it begins. And in Vedanta, you are not supposed to neglect the primary requirements. So otherwise you talk of big things. In Vedanta we talk of big things. What is the origin of this universe? That is how big thing it is. Not world, not USA, not world, not even our planet. Universe means all galaxies, stars included. That is a big thing. And even not that, it's cause. Very big thing. So you want to talk very big things? Yeah. But what about the first step? The first step first. And that is that verse, 13:1, 2. That is where the vision of Gita Sara begins. That is how Ramana Maharshi looks at it. Therefore, this is the purpose of Gita. It is not a voluminous text. It is made very simple, like a protocol or like an operational procedure in a manufacturing plant. So take that step and implement it in life. Not implement, you test it in life. This is Vedanta. This is not a religious treatise. In the context of a religion, the step is given to you and you implement it. Hold the nose, hold the nose. Okay, enough of the nose, put the hand by the side. Okay, now you put the hand by the side. Touch water, touch water. Stand up, sit down, sit down. This is the protocol for the ritual. You implement it quite well. I do not have any complaint about it. Gita is similar thing. It is the in-doing. The ritual is out-to-doing. And you are implementing it quite well. You have to implement a similar stepwise protocol inside you. So that is why Gita is not supposed to be elaborate. It is supposed to be very precise. Samasaha, vyasas samaso Gitayam. So it is intended, every word of Gita is intended to be verified in practice. It is like, if you have headache, Tylenol will relieve you of that headache. It is said. It is printed on the box also. You have seen it in advertisement also. But you have to test it. When you got the headache, God forbid, but when you got it, take a pill of Tylenol and gulp it, and now you wait for it to go away. It should go away. It goes away. So Tylenol helps. They do this testing, not with one guy. They do this testing, phase 1, first in animals, then in men. Phase 1 means human volunteers, not sick people, human volunteers. They volunteer and they do testing on them, healthy volunteers, and then get all the data and then introduce it into select hospitals in association, in collaboration with select doctors, and test with actual patients. Give this medicine to the patients and then monitor the result, how the patients are responding, monitor. It's a very big job, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Then if it is proved that the medicine is valuable, it has some benefit to give to the person suffering from an illness, then they will submit all those voluminous reports with all statistical data, a lot of statistics, mathematics and all that. They submit it to FDA, Federal Drug Authority. There big scholars and technicians and doctors are sitting. They vet. Very severe vetting is done of these documents and these procedures. And if they want further testing, they give it back. You do this testing further. And these people have to do it and then resubmit. Then they approve it. All this you have to do for Gita. That is Gita. That's why it is described that. Not that I have learnt a few things from New York Times. That is not the purpose. The purpose is, that is the spirit of Gita. You have to vet it, you have to test it in practice and declare, yes, Gita helps me. You should be able to say that. For example, Gita says, Ragadvesha vijuktaistu. I am giving an example from Gita. Vishayan indriyaischcharan. You test it. Like the food is served. I am giving the example of food. Every time food example is given. You know why? It is easy. Food example is easy. Some other example becomes difficult to give. So food example is easy and people can make sense out of it readily. So food is served. Now you test. A dish is served. Can you look at the dish, neither attach to it, nor averse to it? Oh, this stick I don't like. That is aversion. Oh, that is, come on, put it. I want it one more. I like it. So this kind of enhanced response. So that is what is called raga or dvesha. You respond moderately with calmness and quietude. It should be like that. Not enhanced response or augmented response. Oh, I like it, I want it. Or I hate it. This kind of responses, people have it. Kids have it. Once I gave a banana to a kid. Kid came and did namaskar. Because the parents pushed the kid, that's why. It comes and did namaskar. Not necessary, but the kid did it, that's okay. I gave a fruit, and that fruit happens to be banana. I have a few fruits there, and I gave banana. The child said, I hate banana. Then I should have thought about it, took back, and there is an apple I gave. I said, please select. So the child looked at it, and took apple, pointed apple, I gave it. So child is okay, but this kind of response where you are very intense in your response, it can be raga or it can be dvesha. You are accustomed to this kind of a lifestyle. Now you try the opposite. You respond. Means either you consume a small part of it or all of it, but you avoid intense responses. Raga and dvesha, neither positive nor negative. That's why people ask me, Swamiji, which curry you like? This is curry, caste curry, they say like that, you know. So curry response. Which curry you like? I said, doesn't matter, you please make. No, Swamiji, you have to tell which curry you like. Then I look within, which curry I like? I don't get the answer. If I get the answer, I can tell. Not to bother the other person, give some answer and be done with that. Respect the other person's wish also. I have to come out with one name, but I struggle to come out with a name because I don't see any particular curry that I like particularly. Therefore, I pull out, okay, some name you pull out, okay, bhindi, okay, bhindi. So that an answer is given without further delay. Otherwise, I do not see any particular liking to a curry. I like most of the curries in any case. So this kind, I am not telling about me, just I am saying, this kind of a response which is divested of, or which is purged of attachment and aversion towards the objects of the senses, towards the sense objects, like what you see, what you hear, what you taste, etc. This is something which Gita recommends. And if you practice this, prasadam adhigachyati. Prasadam is not prasadam bhakshayati prasadam. People forgot the prasada. Because in the temple culture, temples have become pakashalas. They have become big kitchens, temples. And so temple goes with kitchen. They say temple place of worship. I say temple place, a very good kitchen is also available. Aisa ban gaya. The whole culture has become like that. And therefore, why? Because the temple has got connected with prasada. And in the temple culture, unfortunately, in the last few centuries, I suppose, the word prasada has changed its meaning. The meaning of the Gita, you hear the word prasada. That is not what you eat. Prasada is quiet, cheerful consciousness. That is prasada. So the mind is more or less quiet, and also you are more or less cheerful. That is prasada. Very beautiful word. Very difficult to translate it into English with one word, really speaking. That's why after giving a thought, I thought, quiet and cheerful demeanor. That is prasada. You get it. If you try for it, you won't get it. I want prasada. You will get prasada laddu only. That demeanor which I am talking about, you won't get it by effort. Na karmana. You won't get it by karma or effort. Karma is effort. So you get it when you practice this response towards the sense objects. 5 of them. One is important, which I have discussed, other 4. Towards them, you have this kind of a moderate, not subdued really, moderate. You are not suppressing or subduing anything. A moderate response. That is how you train yourself. You want it, you try it, you get it. That is called, that approach will take you into prasada. Prasadam adhigachyati. Then what will I get out of prasada? At least I get a few calories from temple prasada. In this prasada, what will I get? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. Hani means cessation. All your suffering will come to an end. Things will be happening around. Many things will be happening around. New life comes into the world. The earlier one yields place, like Tennyson said. So the old yieldeth place to the new. So all these things happening all the time, whereas you remain in a quiet and a cheerful demeanor. What a lesson of life. That is there in the 2nd chapter. And you one verse you take it and test it. Life is a laboratory where you test the truths of living as Gita presents before you. So for this reason, because Gita is the manual of human existence, so you don't carry a heavy manual. You carry a simple, small manual. You see, for the aeroplane, there is a manual. This big it will be. Only those pilots can refer to it. You and I will go blank when you open it. Whereas some small manual, coffee kettle manual, very simple. You look at it, okay, you know it. Like that Gita, the manual of living. And that's why it is purposefully kept as a small text. Purposefully it is a small text. Text like Brahma Sutra or Brihadaranyaka or Chandogya, so voluminous. There is no teaching of entire Upanishad, no. That is possible in Katha Kehna, but not in these two big Upanishads. The Upanishad itself is called Big, Bruhat. That is the name given to it. And now you only pick up a section here, a section there and do it. So to work on it, on the entire text is a big task it is. Very big. Therefore, people need some such simple manual and of a sane living. This is not religious, it is spiritual, okay? And that manual is Gita. And then Gita is universal. You have to understand that. Because what happened in the Hindu society, the religion has become sectarian and cultish. Vaishnavas, they are not universal. They present Vishnu as a god, not universal. But Vishnu means universal. So they take the universal reality and condense it and compress it and put it in fixed networks and then make it so as cultish or divisive or as compressed as possible, and call it an ism, Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Shakteya-ism. Then Christianity, Islam, Hinduism. Hinduism is not cultish, it is supposed to be universal. And but if somebody tries to make it into an ism, it is unfortunate. So, this is how the world moves. The world, people divide themselves into groups and cults and sects. This is ingrained in us. Caste system. What is it? We are all one nation, one Hindu society, but we divide ourselves into Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and then Shudras subcaste, sub-subcaste, Brahmanas among them, among Brahmanas, subcaste. They are called Shakha. This is Shakha, that is Shakha. North Indian Brahmin, Oriya Brahmin, Bengali Brahmin, and Andhra Brahmin, all these things. So, we divide and subdivide like vertical and horizontal, we divide and subdivide and call it Hinduism. Now, Gita is not for divisive minds. This is what is called fragmentary thinking. You think in terms of fragments. Gita doesn't gel with that thought process. Gita is universal. It is universal to the core. So, Gita, the mother, they say mother. Why mother? Because Gita is the top, Strilinga Shabda it is, the song. Bhagavad Gita it is. Srimati is okay. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita means Bhagavati Gita. Song celestial. That is the title. Translator knew very well. He took the Karmadhare Samasa and translated Bhagavati Gita. So suppose you say Gita of Krishna, then it becomes a Krishnaism. Some ism, there are some Krishna-related isms. They are no better than other isms. So Gita should not be taken into that fragmentary thinking. Gita is the mother. By itself, it is divine. Bhagavati Gita. The divine mother Gita. The vision, So, Bhagavati Gita. That is what the translator understood. And that's why he said, song celestial. Then you can also say Bhagavata Gita. Song means there must be a singer. So Sri Krishna was the singer and Gita is the song. You can take it like that. Don't pull it in a different direction and try to make a musician out of Sri Krishna. He is not a musician. Sri Krishna is the universal teacher, not a musician. Now if you make him a musician, he has to be a Hindustani musician. Cannot be Karnataka. Therefore, in the south, many of you may not know, some of the Karnataka people, they hate Hindustani. There is a movement in Andhra Pradesh, there was no Hindi, no Hindustani, no Khaddar. That was the movement. It was spearheaded by Sripada Subramanya Shastri of those years before independence days. So, like that, therefore you see, if you say Sri Krishna is a musician, what music? Carnatic music? No, Hindustani music. It must be. And then the Karnataka people keep away. Probably that is the reason why they don't worship Sri Krishna that much as in North. Probably. People are crazy, I tell you. They are given to a lot of fragmentary thinking. And they present Sri Krishna in that mold, like a musician. Murali, what Murali? What Murali? Sri Krishna is for Murali. Did you hear one word of Murali in Bhagavad Gita? So, don't create such a caricature of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is the Bhagavan. So, the one who realized his own divinity. If I see the Bhashya, in the first chapter, Bhashya, introductory Bhashya, Shankara presents it as if Sri Krishna is telling to Arjuna, Arjuna, you and me are the same. Only I know my divinity, you don't know your divinity. That's why I am supposed to tell a few things to you about it. That is what Sri Krishna says. That is how Shankara presents the conversation. Not that Sri Krishna is superior, Arjuna is inferior. It's not like that. He says we both are same. Then what is the difference? That you are teaching and I am taught. What is the difference? Difference is you do not know. And I seem to. I know. Sri Krishna is very clear about it. And he is very open about I know and you do not know. Tanyaham Veda. I know all those things. Whereas Natvam, you do not know. That is the only difference. Therefore, Bhagavata Gita, it's a song sung by Bhagavan. That way you can say, but Bhagavati Gita is the best song celestial. And it is universal in the sense that it does not turn anybody away. Now, you say, come on, Mahatma is coming, come on, move away, move away. Did you see this scene? So you move away. Why should we move away? No, Mahatma is coming. Let him come. He is one among us. No. You should not come anywhere near. Like the air you inhale and then exhale should not touch him, as though. So therefore, clear. Like some person, he was diagnosed with COVID. Then you all keep on. So like that, this fragmentary thinking like COVID has infected the gentleman. I have to say like that. That kind of an infection happened, the fragmentary thinking infection. That's why you have to keep away from all the other people. You are not sitting in my lap, nor am I sitting in your lap. We are living in our spaces only. But why this big farce about move away, as if the Mahatma gets defiled? What is this? This is wrong. This has done a lot of harm to the Hindu society. And we are facing the music of such wrong practices of yesteryears back in India. Therefore, Gita does not turn away anybody. The doors of Gita are wide open to anyone who knocks. That is Gita. And Vivekananda Swami pointed out this aspect very, very wonderful way. So, Swami says, Sri Krishna was the only teacher who said the teaching, the wisdom is open to all. In fact, he declared, Yo yam tanum bhaktya shraddhaya chitumichhati. Like that he says. Whatever form you want to worship, you are worshipping myself alone. He uses the word tanum, not murtim. Tanum means he is talking of worshipping God in man. Worship God in man. That is the important slogan of Swami Vivekananda. Worship God in man. You can worship God not only in man, in animal also. In India we worship cow. So the idea is there is God in the cow also. That is the idea. Not that God is in the cow. Don't make it into a ritual. And don't make it fragmentary. Fragmentary mane, so Brahaspati is in the ears, Krishna is in the face of the cow, Rama is on the back of the cow, and Shiva is in the tail of the... Don't start this way. That is not the way to look at it. All life is divine. Yam yam tanum bhaktya. All life is divine. And you should be sensible to life. You should not disturb life. Because life is God. A plant, a tree, a branch of the tree, a leaf of the plant, or a flower of the plant, it is life. And there is God in it. God is in that form. It is life. Don't disturb it. If you be sensitive to the life. You know, there is a plant, there is a leaf. What is it doing? You have any idea what is it doing? It is doing photosynthesis. You are having breakfast. It is doing photosynthesis. And your breakfast came from that photosynthesis. You know that? So you should be sensitive. That is what Buddha said. And that is what Sri Krishna also said. And we repeat what Sri Krishna said while eating food. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. And if you have more time, you repeat the entire chapter also. But the point is, worship God in life. Yo yo yam yam tanum. Bhakti is sensitivity. That is the bhakti. You are sensitive. You understand. You feel good for others, in others. That is the sensitivity. And that you should have. In doing so, you are worshipping the Godhead, Atma, which is Brahma, only. The Mam is, so Aham is Atma. Not Sri Krishna Devaki Nandana Vasudeva Kumara, not that Sri Krishna. Once you come to Gita, it is not Devaki Nandana, etc. Nandanandana, that is not Sri Krishna of Gita. That becomes a Haryanavi, right? Like a Tamilian, like a Haryanavi. No. Universal. Godhead. Therefore, that's why we say Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. We do not say Sri Krishna Uvacha. We say Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. And that is well discussed and ascertained also. Shastra Drishtya Upadeshaha Vamadevavat. Vamadeva was a sage. He said, I am the sun. Aham Suryaha Abhavam. I am the sun. What does it mean? Vamadeva, the kid, became the sun? No, not the Vamadeva, the kid. Vamadeva, when he said, I am, that I am is not Vamadeva, the kid. Then I am is the Atma, expressing in Vamadeva, the kid. And that Atma is Brahman. Similarly, when Sri Krishna says, Mom, that is not Krishna Devaki Nandana Vasudeva Nandana Nanda Nandana Gopika Jana Vallabha. Ye nahi hai. That you take it elsewhere. You should stop it. And then say, Aham is Atma, Aham Atma. That is what a Mom, second case, the Atma, which is Brahma. So that is the message of the Gita. Kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi. That Atma is the Brahma. Mam Atmanam kshetrajñam Brahma vidhi. Kshetrajñam Atmanam mam Brahma vidhi. Okay? So that is how Sri Krishna, it was the Sri Krishna's voice which opened the doors of wisdom to the entire universe. Very open and no fragmentation. This is what we should learn from Gita. As students of Gita, we should rise above all the fragmentation. So Gita is universal. Then it's okay, Gita is universal, but I have to live a life. We have a life. And when the life's situations stare, in the face. The universality, the glory, all these things will not serve the purpose, apparently. You need more practical, more topical. So universal is great, but in the given topic I need some support, some help, some succor. Gita offers that. So you listen to this. When disappointment stares me in the face, and all alone, I'm all alone, lonely chartha, and disappointment is overwhelming. I see not one ray of light, hope, no ray of hope. Then I go back to Bhagavad Gita. Then you sit and read the Bhagavad Gita, however precise it is, still it is a book, small book. So what do? I open the book and find one verse. Yam yam vapi smaran bha. That is the verse I got. Just at random open the book and you see a verse. You read that verse. Just look at that verse. You have to know. The meaning you have to know. Not chant. Chant, why should you chant? I don't understand. You should know it. So, aham vaishvanaro bhutva, you should know it. Not some chant. So, you find the verse, any verse, abruptly, and at random, and read it. And when I do that, I immediately begin to smile. There is a smile on the lips. Means already prasada has entered into the consciousness. In the midst of overwhelming tragedies, I tested this, and every single time Gita made me smile. In the midst of overwhelming tragedies, I owe it all to the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Mahatma Gandhi. He faced tremendous tragedies and also tests he faced in life, and every single time he relied upon the Gita, and Gita made him cheerful once again. And he says that. So therefore Gita is universal, at the same time it is very personal also. You try this. So I have seen it. People are afraid of the future. People are unhappy and anxious. That is what people are. And there is always one original mischief maker. Somebody gave the idea. You take this book and open any page and read whatever you come. It will foretell what is going to happen in the future. This is the original mischief it is. And so which book you have to take? It depends upon a given sect. So, suppose you worship God in a particular way, then take that book. I am hesitating to name. This is there in the society. Take that book. Some book like the story of the Guru. Take that book and open the page. And there, Guru is encouraging somebody. Okay, now I am encouraged, and go. Sometimes what happens, it fails. Some other page, that person was sitting and crying. Then you further go down. This is how they do. And they have prescribed a few books for this game. In this game, you try to glean your own future with the book in your hands, opening the book at random. You must have known all this game. Forget about that. Don't worry about future. Don't try to peep into the future. Like there is a wall and this person is stretching to see what is going on the other side of it. Don't do that. You hurt yourself. In the present, you have some difficulty. Open the verse of Gita. Keep a Gita book. Small book you can keep in the pocket, ready, handy in the room, and open it randomly. Read one verse. You must have known the meaning though. Read one verse. Allow it to inspire you. And then go into the world and face the situation with courage. You will win. Gita never fails you. So that is what Mahatma Gandhi was saying. Because it is very universal, as I said already. So the great work of Sri Krishna, that's why called Bhagavad Gita. And so it clears our eyes and helps us see with a broader vision, all-inclusive vision upon humanity. You can include the entire humanity in your consciousness. That kind of breadth and depth Gita gives to you. And therefore Sri Krishna has such a big heart. And he said, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. So aham is Atma. So if you approach Atma with sadness, Atma will give you back sadness. How? I am unhappy, so you remain unhappy. Tathastu. I am unlucky. Tathastu. I remain unlucky. All my life I was unlucky and today also I am unlucky. Tathastu. But you say the opposite. God has given everything to me. What did not God give to me? I am the lucky person. Then the Atma says, Tathastu, you are lucky. In spite of the vicissitudes of life, I am cheerful. You say that to yourself, you remain cheerful. Tathastu. So Atma, which is Bhagavan, responds to you the way you approach the Atma. So, ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. Suppose you are an agnost, Atma also supports that agnosticism. If you are an atheist, Atma supports atheism. Atma, agnostics and atheists also have Atma. And their Atma must have blessed that agnosticism and atheism. That's why they are so firm in it. Atma does that. Atma is upadrashta anumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha. That is the Atma, Gita. So upadrashta anumanta, I want to eat this food. Tathastu, eat it. No, it is not healthy, I will give it up. Tathastu, give it up. Anumanta, that is Atma. Therefore, that Atma is Sri Krishna. So you decide what Sri Krishna has to give to you, he will give to you. You decide it. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. Therefore, that is the universality of Gita. We'll continue. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. 11:25. You have enough time for a cup of tea. Please proceed. Don't wait.